Well, thank you guys.
We're very happy we got rid of that for you, so we wouldn't have to do this part on yours.
Yeah.
'Cause
By
you
the
see
way,
how
I'm
messy it
just
is.
announcing I'm streaming, so but I can stop streaming if you'd like me to.
Not the dance was not straight.
No, that was not streamed. That I promise. She even did a special dance, a victory dance.
We're not going to speak of that.
But minus the dance.
Nice. Looked like you were here for court.
I had court this morning.
Oh, that's right.
Kendrick Moxon. We
You
got.
came into our courtroom and
Yeah,
watched,
yeah.
which was
And I wanted to, but
bizarre.
I got the restraining order against his client
How did
there.
it go?
I'm trying to get him dismissed because he's a part to the case. He's saying that someone made a comment.
He wrote me about that.
Just
yeah.
like that, the 86 who I had
Yeah.
talk to me,
Yeah.
he said he was going to burn it down. And I specifically said, no one's burning anything down. I made a couple of videos about it, but he's trying to get to be a party on the restraining order because he fears for his life because of
I'm
his
sure
comment.
he does. Yeah.
And that I'm part of a criminal enterprise being funded.
Okay.
So
That's
we got
really
we got trial on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so why were you in court today then?
We were supposed to have it wrapped up, but he's saying that it's going to take 3 or 4 hours in testimony.
So you got
you were
Moxon
being
as a
sent
witness,
out.
or you're trying to get him?
I tried to get him dismissed and separated because he's an interested party.
And
Because he put his declaration in, made a bunch of claims, and then so did Jaden, the guy, the petitioner, the security guard from the Church of Scientology. So I'm looking forward. I was hoping today it would be over, but it's going to be a couple hours.
okay.
But I just wanted to come over and say thank you guys. I tried calling, but I
You were
caught
so
you.
welcome, and I got your lovely message
All right,
to
cool.
me. It was very nice.
Cool, awesome. Well, thank you guys.
I'm gonna message you for details.
Thank you. I'm gonna.
I'm gonna try. I'm always carrying something here. I do want to shake your
Okay.
hand. Oh,
I can hold
I
something if you'd like.
appreciate it. And thank you.
Yeah, of
I
course,
really
man.
appreciate
Pleasure
it.
meeting you. Yeah. I mean,
So nice
she
to
might
meet
appeal,
you.
so you might be hearing from me for.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah. Whatever.
There's the request for
Whatever.
consideration now.
There's a motion for reconsideration.
There's a motion
right?
for reconsideration, and then that's heard on the 8th, August
August
8th. And
Then she could appeal it.
she could appeal, and we
No
also
TRO.
have a fees motion refund. So
But I'll
like
let her
we're
announce
still doing stuff, but
Win.
it's so good. It's good so far.
Yeah. Good.
So may I ask
We're all
you?
on wins.
Exactly. So may I ask you, well, first, I know your name, but if you want to identify it, just so people could look up your history as a lawyer, it's pretty
I'm
badass.
Dorothy M. Gibbons-White.
And tell me about the verdict. I want you to be the first to announce the verdict or the ruling.
In the case of Eckers versus Good, LA Superior Court number 24, STRO 00463, if anyone wants to look it up. Documents are available online. We won. Mr. Eckers sought to bring an elder abuse restraining order against my client, William Good, for his First Amendment protected activity protesting against the Church of Scientology at 2 different Scientology locations. One, the Information Center, where they recruit people, and one at the museum, has a longer name. At the moment that escapes me, but we refer to it as the museum at Hollywood and Ivar, where Mr. Good documents what appears to be the transport in buses of minors in and out of the facility at very, very late night and early morning
Glad you
hours.
highlighted that because that needs to be blasted out.
There is Mr. Good believes there's human trafficking going on by the Church of Scientology. He believes there is child trafficking going on. And he has seen on the Hollywood Boulevard by the Information Center near McCadden all sorts of recruitment activity of vulnerable people who are on the street in late night and early morning hours, many of them minors. And he warns people about it, as do many other people protesting. And many of the other people protesting have been victimized in the past by Scientology and escaped that cult and are participating in trying to make sure that other people are not caught up in that system. So Mr. Eckers sort of came out of nowhere. He lives in the neighborhood, and he is apparently 67 years old, but anybody who's watched any of the live streams of Mr. Good and the other protesters could see he appeared to be a middle-aged man in his 50s.
Seems spry.
And he
Active.
was very active, spry,
Yes.
vigorous man, looks great for his age, and he weaponized the fact he's over the age of 65 and brought what's called an elder abuse restraining order request. And that is a very strong order if you secure it.
Right. Lots of proof.
There are other types of restraining orders that I've tried in this courthouse. This kind of restraining order is probably one of the easiest to get if you have the facts to get it and you're over the age of 65.
Fascinating, huh? So it's not that challenging of a barometer.
It's not as challenging as, say, trying to secure a civil harassment restraining order. So this
elder
was
abuse.
a weaponization
Right.
of a statute that was created and enacted in 1982 in California to protect the most vulnerable among us, elders and dependent adults. And this was a weaponization of that statute by the Church of Scientology because Mr. Ecker's legal fees, admitted in testimony, were paid by the Church of Scientology, and a lot of other evidence was brought out that it appears
That shit feel good.
he may have been acting as an agent for the Church of Scientology, and whether he was or he was not, Mr. Good's activities in all the incidents he cited as a reason for his restraining order request are protected
Yes.
First Amendment activities.
So, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you too. It was a straight flush because they were looking at, if I'm not mistaken, 5 specific incidences. And I'm wondering if one out of the 5 where he felt like Joey was being harassed, then could it have been granted?
Yes, and
Wow.
that is because the elder abuse restraining order, unlike the civil harassment restraining order scenario, an elder abuse restraining order requires only abuse in one incident. That's the finding.
Fascinating.
If you find the abuse against the elder in one
Wow.
incident,
You got the
then
straight
you
flush.
get the order, even if
Right.
you've got 5 incidents. In a civil harassment restraining order, you need to see a course of conduct as opposed to just one thing.
Right.
So, again, the statute was weaponized in this case. That was the attempt they made. And the worst thing that they caused for us was having to be in court for 6 days
Right.
to prove what they were doing,
Right.
which is seeking to silence my client. And they failed to do so.
And use it as precedent to shield other clients, to make sure other
Of
protesters
course,
aren't
this is
there.
a trial court, so it doesn't serve as
Sure.
you know,
Well,
I'm-
technically, no, not legal precedent.
Yeah.
No.
I guess
but
in a lay
yeah,
perspective,
to follow
but
through with the pattern.
I think you are right, though, what you're going for there in your question. I think that there very much has been an effort with these slew of cases like this against my client, because this is not the first one.
right.
I think there is an effort to silence my client's First Amendment activity, whether it's his cop watching activity, and there has been a similar type of thing that's happened in the past because of that activity, and now it seems there's really a slew of cases that are connected to his Scientology activity.
Right.
And this is a message. You're going to
Yeah.
have to deal with me and
Love it.
Matthew Struger, who is a First Amendment expert.
Respect.
Now, this is my
Yeah, he was-
assistant, and this is
He was
over here is
hardcore
Matthew
with the research.
Struger.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have to deal with Mr. Good's lawyers.
Right.
And we are not afraid to go to trial.
Nice. Right.
And
Yeah.
this
Well,
isn't going to work.
no.
You know, Mr. Good is a treasure to the city of Los Angeles. His work has made life better here for the citizens of Los Angeles and anyone who visits here. Hollywood Boulevard is a safer place for young black and brown men in a car driving at night than it used to be because of the 3 years that Mr. Good has been watching the Hollywood division of LAPD to ensure they follow their own rules
Yeah.
and stop messing with young black and brown men and detaining them with cuffs on in the back of the car and terrorizing them before they let them go. That kind of getting their fun on
Right.
is not as frequent anymore because of Mr. Good's activity. And now he's very effective in his protests in front of the Scientology buildings, on the building on the Information Center on Hollywood Boulevard, and as well as the documenting what looks like human trafficking coming in and out of the Scientology building at Ivar on Hollywood Boulevard. And he is very effective in that he is shedding light on secretive activities of the church, and he is encouraging others to come out, and he is giving voice to a lot of victims that
Yeah,
don't
you help
have the
secure
kind
it.
of following he has.
Yep.
They don't have the kind of forum he has, and he feels for these people, and he is trying to speak for them as well
Right.
by articulating the kind of protest that only he can in his style. And I think, again, he is a treasure
Yeah.
to this city, and I am honored to represent him.
Well put. The last thing, the opposing counsel put on a bit of a show at the very end once the ruling was done. Do you want to explain that a little bit, or why do you think he did that?
Judge Shelley Kaufman presided in this matter. I've been before her, and she's a very thoughtful judge. She reads everything. She watches everything. She watched every minute of these
thorough.
hours and hours of videos. She takes careful notes. She really gives a lot of care and thought to her decisions. Whether it's a decision I like or not, she gives care
Right.
and thought to her decisions.
Right. You just want them to be fair.
And that is what we hope for as lawyers and a judge.
Yes.
And after she had allowed us an entire day of the court's time yesterday for Mr. Brown to give his closing,
Right.
and then for me to give my closing,
And then
for Mr. Brown to
rebut.
give a rebuttal to
Right.
my closing. And that was prior to that.
Yeah.
We were each allowed a 10-page pocket brief, meaning a last-minute kind of brief to answer certain questions that the judge wanted addressed that she had not asked for before.
Right.
And my co-counsel, Mr. Struber, wrote a very persuasive and well-cited brief on the First Amendment issues that she asked about.
Congrats, sir.
Right here.
Superstar.
And after that, and she issues this very thoughtful.
Cool. I don't need to keep you. I need to hop on this dude show anyway, so you're good.
Well, after
well,
that,
we could talk a walk too.
We could talk and walk. I'll
Yeah.
walk with you.
Sure. But yeah, I want to.
After that, after she gives this today, calls us back, she has us listen to a very well thought out written decision. And once she's finished, the only thing to say is thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
Whether you win
Shut the
or
hell
you
up.
lose.
Yeah.
And if I had lost, I would have said thank you,
Bit your
Your
tongue.
Honor,
That's
just
it. End of
as I
story.
did today.
Yep.
And Mr. Brown thought it was appropriate, I did not, to stand up and start making what was,
It's almost
I guess
screaming.
he felt it was argument, but
Right.
there's nothing left to argue. She made her judgment.
Right.
She issued her ruling, and I thought his argument crossed over into disrespectful conduct towards
Yeah.
the judge, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. It's not a good
And
look.
I'm a bit of a cowboy,
Right.
but I do try to always be respectful to the judge.
Right. Well, she'll remember that if he ever represents future clients that are protesters against Scientology, if she handles similar cases, it's entirely possible he goes before the same judge. She might not have the most favorable opinion of him. Not that that really matters in your ruling, but you know.
Well, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree
sure,
with you
sure.
on that. I know Judge Kaufman to
Right,
be
very impartial. I
even-handed.
bet, yeah.
She can handle people yelling at her.
Right, I'm
I
sure.
just don't think it's appropriate, and
Right,
she'll probably
interesting.
still be
Yes.
just as impartial with him.
I'm
And
sure.
she did compliment all counsel on their
She did.
professionalism.
Yes, and said he did a good job
prior
too.
to giving her ruling.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the case was tried.
Right.
Mr. Brown is a good lawyer.
Yeah, he was
I
very
just
good.
did not like to see what I saw.
Yeah, but
again.
not the most respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Interesting.
there you have it.
Well,
it's a good day.
Yes, you did a great
Uh,
job. Thank you for defending
for my
civil
co-counsel
liberties.
And I, and for
You know,
Mr. Good.
yeah. Thank you for defending
And for
civil liberties.
and the
Yeah,
First
because you have a
Amendment,
history of doing
yes.
that, and that's what your passion is, I think. And you know, it's nice to have somebody on their side. And I guess last question, or maybe can't talk about it. Are you helping out Danny in his case, or
You mean?
that's the other protester?
No, I
It's
know,
hard to
but
keep
you're
track.
talking about the case Danny Beleda. Daniel.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, I do represent Daniel
Cool.
Beleda on the Campos v. Beleda matter,
Yes.
which is the civil harassment.
Right, it's a little different.
Restraining order request.
Right.
But it's also in connection with protest at a Scientology building,
Right.
and someone who seems to be protecting the interests of Scientology, and I don't think I can comment any further on that
Perfect.
case.
Well, no, just good to know that you're representing
yes,
him,
I am
and for me to
representing
say
him.
out loud, this is some good previous experience, perhaps to have all of us figure out how the judge might rule. So,
Well, we are before a different judge. I
I'm
will
sure.
also say On another case that Mr. Struger is my co-counsel, 2 other cases, one where we represent Mr. Good
Right.
against Francois Koster. It's Koster v. Good, and the other
Okay.
case is Koster v. Hochstetter.
Right.
And,
There's a lot.
and we brought anti-slap motions against those 2 cases that were civil harassment restraining order requests,
Okay.
also connected to Scientology
Cool.
protesting, and we won on both anti-slaps.
Awesome. So good news.
So the message
Yeah.
is, we usually win when cases are brought against a client who is conducting First Amendment activity.
Yeah. Yeah. Well
There
put.
you have it.
Well, thank
so
you.
It's a good day.
Yes, thank you for your advocacy. Everybody in the chat says how dynamic you are, how awesomely you're dressed, by the way. A few people saying you're sexy. I can't disagree. But yeah, you're the hotshot attorney, but you did an amazing job.
That is adorable feedback.
Yes. Well, I figured I'd relay
From a
on that
man
to you.
who wears an array of 1945.
Thank you. Right? Game recognizes game. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you for recognizing my ties. It means
You
a
know,
lot.
we
The
gotta
best
get
dressed
up and
lawyer
do
I've
our thing
seen.
in the morning, we better dress appropriately.
We
right?
should.
Better have fun with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for covering us.
Of course, thank you, and thanks for giving me the rundown and being helpful. And yeah, I'll be. I guess I'll see you for Danny's thing. Now I'm gonna do an interview in the shade.
All right,
But you're the
I'm
best.
just walking with you. I'm going.
Oh,
going
cool,
back
you
to
are.
the office
Oh,
now.
okay. I thought you were
Take
walking
care.
with them. You're the
Bye.
best. Take care, guys. Bye bye. All right, guys. I gotta be on with Aaron. Au revoir.